Hello and welcome to Garage Rock the podcast, episode number 18. Steve,
yes,
we are of age.
Yeah, we can drink. In fact, here we go, clinkies.
Here's cheers.
Cheers to that. Bang.
Hey,
we're doing this one. We're actually recording this on a Saturday afternoon for a change. It's sunny outside. We normally do this on a Wednesday night, but unfortunately, you've been unwell. Tell us quickly.
Yeah, I've been a little bit under the weather. I've had the flu.
Yeah.
And then that blocked my sinuses up.
Yeah.
And now, Steve.
Yes.
I've broken a lot of drums in my time.
Yes.
Being a drummer.
As you do, yeah.
I bursted my eardrum.
You burst your eardrum.
Yeah.
Well, that's a first.
I tell you what, it is one of the most painful experiences I've had in my life.
I can imagine.
It felt like someone was stabbing the side of my ear. You know, had like a sharp knife sticking in there. It was horrible.
And to be honest, of all the injuries a podcaster could get, this is one of the worst.
It is.
You've actually got one ear. You can't hear out of one ear. It's all blocked up. And then
I can't hear, and it's constantly ringing. I keep answering it, but no one's there. But the main thing, Steve, is we're here and we're doing it. So sorry, it's a little bit late, but that's life.
Better late than never.
Get over it.
Exactly.
We're 18 now. We're busy, Mom.
Yeah, we can do whatever we want, man. Now we've got a big show, Cam. And
we do.
When I mean big, I mean this is possibly the biggest episode we've done. Normally, when we've got the rundown, it's usually 4 pages. This time, we've actually gone to 6 pages. We've got so much to talk about.
I know, we're banked up like a constipated mule at the moment, but
there's actually there's things that we can't even get to. We've had to chop stuff out.
I know, for next time.
Yeah, I was gonna talk about my dislike for the new Muse album. I've had to scrap that. Cam was going to tell us how to feed a family of 12 for less than $20 a week. We're going to have to scrap that. I was looking forward to hearing that, by the way.
Just call this number 1-800. No. But yeah, more importantly, we've got lots of new music. We've got our top 5s, bass tracks this week.
Yes, and the response.
Mate, we've had so many people write in about their favourite bass tracks. It's been awesome.
Because that's the thing. I thought when we came up with it last week, we'll do bass tracks. I thought, maybe it's a bit obscure. We did guitar solos, and people love guitar solos.
Yeah.
And I thought, maybe bass tracks might not get that many people. And our listeners have defied me. Surprised what I thought. I obviously underestimated our listeners because we were given a shitload. We can't even read them all out. That's how many we got.
I reckon bass players are highly underrated. So,
well, thank you.
But yeah, if you do want to contact us, please send a message to contact@redskymusic.com.au, but we're also on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram, which is @_Garage Rock. So keep them coming in.
Now, what are we going to talk about on this week's episode, Cam? We've got heaps. We've got news about Unified Gathering, Download Festival, Groove in the Moo.
Yes.
We've got some really cool tour announcements as well.
Oh, hell yeah, we do.
And of course, we've also had a number of interviews.
I know. I got to do Slowly with my boys.
Had a chat with Ben, and it was really cool.
Yeah, he was a legend. So I can't wait to see them on their tour that's already kicked off. And you got to have a chat with the drummer from the Conspirators.
Yeah, Brent Fitz from the Conspirators. Of course, Slash featuring Miles Kennedy and the Conspirators. And he's drummed for many different artists, like Alice Cooper, Gene Simmons. That was a really cool interview, actually, with Brent. And also had a chat with Auntie from the Bennies.
The
Bennies! They've got a new tour. And, great to have a chat with him as well. And, they're going great guns. They've had a few changes in their lineup. In the band, but they're going back to Europe next year for the 4th time in 3 years.
Oh wow!
So there's obviously a lot of love for them,
mate. Their live act is awesome. One thing I'll say about their live act is, when you got that awkward bit in the middle, in between songs, where some bands don't really know how to fill that in. Sometimes it's dead silence. Sometimes they say a joke. So the Bennies just have it down pat. They always have like something going on, like some music playing, or they just transition into each song
really
awesomely.
Well.
They spot on. So I can see why they're touring so much, because their live show is just awesome.
Yeah, and actually I mentioned that to him as well, that I've seen them at festivals a number of times, and there'll be people who don't necessarily know many of their songs. They're kind of like just hanging around, but by the end of the set, it's a party, and everyone's having a they are awesome.
They are, but they're just party rockers, aren't they?
Exactly.
Party! Now, motherfucking No, don't start singing again, Steve. Now, Steve.
Yes.
Australian Music T-shirt Day, which
was yesterday.
We missed out, so Well,
we took a photo.
I was wearing Living End. Steve was wearing You Am I.
Yep.
But what's the important message we want to get across to people about this?
Well, it's to get out there and support local bands and to buy merchandise and to buy shirts.
Yep.
So we wanted to get this up before T-shirt Day. Unfortunately, due to unforeseen circumstances, we've had to delay. Burst drums.
Yep.
But yeah, next year, get yourself a shirt in advance and support local bands and give it a go.
It's not hard to get a T-shirt either, Steve.
Oh,
Even if, like, your favourite Aussie band, go on their website. Everyone has a merch link. Just click on that, get yourself a T-shirt, or at the next gig, grab yourself a T-shirt. You remember the awesome time that you had.
Yes. And, of course, Australian Music T-shirt Day also kicked off Melbourne Music Week, which is currently happening in Melbourne. So head to the Melbourne Music Week website because there's events happening all over the city. And, so it's always worth checking out what's going on with Melbourne Music Week. But Cam.
Yes. A legend that is unfortunately no longer with us, who we've actually spoken about quite a bit on this podcast.
Numerous times, yep.
Chris Cornell.
Yep.
There's going to be a tribute concert for him.
Yes.
How awesome is that?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's only in America, in LA. Can we go?
I would love to go.
I would love to go.
This looks amazing.
Yeah, so it's a tribute show for, obviously, the champion singer from Soundgarden, Audioslave. It's been announced for January 16th, and it's at the Forum in LA. So let's just skip over there somehow.
Yeah.
I'd love to go. But Jimmy Kimmel is set to MC the event, Steve.
Yep.
And there's going to be performances from Metallica, Foo Fighters, Ryan Adams, and Chris's old bandmates from Soundgarden, Audioslave, and Temple of the Dog. Now, Steve.
I just hope that someone's filming this because...
Please, I want something more than phone footage on YouTube. I hope they release this on DVD or something like that. Would be so cool.
Because he's got so many fantastic songs and, I mean, Metallica, Foo Fighters, Ryan Adams, and then, of course, members of his own bands. This is going to be an amazing event.
Oh, definitely. And it'll be really interesting to see who plays what, like Metallica and Foo Fighters. Like, what song are they going to do?
Oh, yeah.
You know?
I'm sure they'll do a few each, probably. I mean, it's what I just hope, because, I mean, they're doing this to raise money as well for charity, and it'd be good selling it on DVD to raise money for the charity as well.
It would raise heaps.
Exactly. So hopefully that happens because it's going to be an amazing show.
Oh, definitely.
Now, on a lighter note, Cam.
Yes.
Adam and Ruben, better known as electro-pop duo and all-round legends Peking Duck.
Yeah, Peking Duck, yeah.
They have, instead of working on releasing their debut album, they've announced that they're releasing their very own children's book called DJ Ducks.
How cool is that?
Now, this looks awesome, and there are also deluxe editions of the book that come with like rubber ducks of the two of them, because it is the two of them done up as ducks.
Yeah.
The book is a cautionary tale highlighting what can happen if you end up too deep in social media and forget what matters most.
Hey, you know what?
Good message.
That is a really important message for kids these days, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Because they grow up seeing their parents on social media and blah, blah, blah. This is a great message.
And everything on social media. I mean, social media it can be good, but at the same time, there's so much.
Yeah.
It's just a breeding ground for assholes,
exactly.
Really.
There's
a lot of the time. There's so many. It's like, I don't even like using social media anymore.
No.
Really? No.
It's all ads and just crap.
Exactly.
But it's the way the world runs now. It's how everyone gets everything done, and
it's true. I mean, we use it because it's a good. Well, I mean, you got to pay if you want people to see anything you do, but it's a good platform to promote our podcast and
for
us
we're trying to get our podcast out there.
Exactly, and for people to find out news about events and things like that, it's good for that. But you just got to filter out so much crap in order to find.
You do. I like how Peking Duck have come up with this idea.
Yeah.
And is it true that Amy Shark plays a little bit of a cameo in the book?
Yeah, Amy Shark. Well, there is a shark called Amy. And she's got Amy Shark's hair and she's holding a couple of arias. So
they've said in their own words that if you know any kids or have any kids, which I do, between the ages of, say, about 4 and 8 years old, that want undoubtedly the dopest children book out, visit djducks.com. You know what? I'm going to get it for my kids.
Yeah, why not?
Sounds like a good Christmas present, actually.
Exactly, definitely.
And
just
they
in
love
time.
reading. So
that's DJ Ducks, but Cam.
Yes.
Something huge that we're really looking forward to.
Yeah, I know, and we talk about it a lot, Steve, and we're talking about Unify Gathering.
Yes, Unify Gathering. They've announced a third night of live music with an on-site pre-party on Thursday, January 10th.
Yes, and the pre-party will feature a cover band called The All Nighters featuring members of Hellions and special guests.
Yep.
Actually, I heard Hellions' version of Jesus of Suburbia. That's pretty cool.
Oh, yeah.
I think I mentioned that in the podcast at some point in my life, but anyway.
We'll check it out. There's also live sets from Between You and Me, A Burden and Cage Existence, as well as DJ sets from Hellions and Stand Atlantic, and DJ sets from Sydney's Punk Emo Club Night AM/PM.
Now, Steve.
Yes, Cam.
Access to the pre-party is only available to Unify Gathering Early Access or Complete Experience ticket holders.
Yep.
So if you've got them, or you can get ticket upgrades, and they're on sale from store.unifygathering.com.
That's true.
So that's Unify Gathering, and we're going to talk a little bit about Download Festival.
Yes, now the second lineup announcement has been made.
It's finally been announced, and Steve, I'm actually pretty happy with it. It's right up my alley.
Oh, definitely.
Sum 41.
Yep.
Pennywise.
Pennywise.
Like two of the best punk bands ever, Sum 41 and Pennywise. Thy Art Is Murder, Polaris, 12 Foot Ninja, Slaves, and Voyager.
Yep.
And they're all joining this already awesome lineup with Ozzy Osbourne, Slayer, Judas Priest, Alice in Chains, Ghost, Rise Against, The Amity Affliction, Anthrax, and heaps more.
Yep.
And wow, what do you think, Steve?
Oh, this is going to be an amazing show. I mean, this year, Download Festival version 1.0 was awesome, and it was a huge response. And now we've added a bit more punk to this sort of lineup. Like we'd mentioned previously, it's a lot of 80s sort of metal, Slayer, Judas Priest,
Would you say
Anthrax.
This kind of balances it out a bit?
Balances it out, yes. I think it
can't wait till my voice breaks.
I think it adds another element to it. There might have been people who were thinking, earlier this year was a bit more punkish. There isn't so much this year.
Yeah.
Well, now we've got, as I said, Sum 41, Pennywise. I mean, they're some of the first bands you think of when you think about punk.
Oh, yeah, Brohim live.
Oh, exactly. That's going to be started. Awesome. So that's right. So Sydney on Saturday 9th of March at Parramatta Park, and Melbourne on Monday, March 11th at Flemington Racecourse, which is the Labor Day public holiday.
Yep, and tickets are still on sale. They're available from downloadfestival.com.au/tickets.
Yes, now another event that's been announced. As I said, we've got so much to talk about on this episode, Cam.
It's just, we're trying to get through all these festivals, all these tours. It's bloody awesome.
Exactly. Well, it is coming to that time of the year, and Groove in the Moo has been announced for April next year. We've got the dates, no lineup yet. The announcement for who's playing will be made soon.
Have we got any rumours or anything yet? No, I haven't heard anything.
No, not
yet. Seen anything.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we'll just have to wait.
We'll just have to wait. What we
but
always do.
As soon as we do find out, it'll be on Garage Rock Podcast, believe it or not.
Without a doubt. I
believe it. The dates for Groove in the Moo are Wayville in South Australia on Friday, April 26 at Adelaide Showground, Maitland in New South Wales on Saturday, April 27 at Maitland Showground, Canberra on Sunday, April 28 at Exhibition Park, Bendigo in Victoria on Saturday, May 5th at the Prince of Wales Showground, Townsville in Queensland on Sunday, May 6 at the Murray Sports Complex, and Bunbury in WA on Saturday, May 11 at Hay Park. Pre-sale will be available from 8 a.m. on Friday, the 30th of November. Christmas pre-sale, they're calling it. So you can, get your tickets ahead of Christmas, and it's going to be awesome. It's the biggest regional festival in Australia.
Yeah, it's awesome. I went to the Bendigo one a couple of years ago, and I had an absolute ball. It was awesome.
Yeah, I've been to the Bendigo one as well, and it's fun times. And
something about those country festivals, isn't there? It brings a whole new element to it.
Exactly, and it's awesome for the people who can't get to, say, Melbourne or Sydney or Brisbane, 2 gigs, to be able to at least have an outlet out that way. And
it's a big thing for the small town, isn't it?
It really helps the economy in those towns as well.
It brings in a lot of business. So
exactly.
That's Groove in the Moo. Now, Steve.
Yes, now.
Got a couple of tour announcements.
You're very excited about this. You're very excited about all of them, actually.
The next 4 tour announcements that we're going to rattle off now is wow.
Wow.
I'm going to start with old Uncle Bryan Adams.
Bryan Adams.
Yes.
Now, you mentioned him on the show a few weeks ago with best collaborations, Bryan Adams and Melanie C.
Mel C, yeah.
Baby, when you're gone.
I wonder if she'll come along to sing that song with him on tour.
Well, Spice Girls will be too busy themselves, aren't they? You heard about that, didn't you?
They're getting back together or something.
Yeah, well, the four of them minus Posh Spice, because let's face it, she'd be taking a pay cut to go on tour with them. But yeah,
she's too busy rattling around with Davey Beckham.
Yeah, exactly. But Bryan Adams, Cam.
I know. He's I'll just say quickly, I love his Bare Bones tour live CD.
Yep.
It's awesome. It's basically just him, acoustic guitar and a piano.
Yeah.
I was hoping it was going to be that tour.
Yeah.
But because I missed out on it last time. But he's returning to Australia in March, Steve, with Mahalia Barnes as his support act, which is Jimmy Barnes' daughter.
Yep. She's got a great voice.
Oh, unbelievable. So, Steve, I'm pumped about this. I'm definitely going to go. I'm just going to tell you the dates.
Yep.
Melbourne on Thursday, 21st of March at Rod Laver Arena. Wollongong on 22nd of March at Wynn Entertainment Centre. Sydney on Sunday, 24th of March at the International Convention Centre. And he's announced 2 shows for a day on the green, which isn't in Victoria. But anyway, I'm not bitter.
No.
They're on Saturday, 23rd of March at Bimbagin in the Hunter Valley, New South Wales, and Wednesday, 27th of March at Kings Park and Botanic Garden in Poyth.
Yes.
Now, just quickly, Steve, if you want to get tickets to this, they're on sale 10 a.m. local time on Friday, 23rd of November from Frontier Touring, and wow.
Yeah, you're already, you'd be calling in sick to work that day, so you can, your ear might still be stuffed. But
I've already had enough sick days. I can't do any more.
Well, you're going to have to probably get someone else to get the tickets for you, because they will sell out pretty quick, I would say.
No, it's happening. I'll make it work.
Exactly. Now, another tour that's been announced this week, and we've already started hooking up how we're going to get tickets for this ourselves.
This is the one I'm most excited about, Steve.
Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Yeah, Chili Willy.
Now, they didn't come to Australia on their Getaway World Tour, and they only played 3 shows this year, and they were for Lollapalooza Festival.
Yeah.
So this is the first two. I don't know. Are we going to get some new music? Perhaps they've been away doing other things.
Well, that's what we were talking about earlier. What are we gonna see? Are we going to get some new material trialed, or is it just purely going to be all old stuff?
Have they just tacked this on? Oh shit, we forgot to go to Australia. Oh, let's add some dates in 2019.
We go over there.
Exactly. Well, of course, Flea, he is a Melbourne boy.
Yeah, surely wants to come home and say hello.
Exactly. I'm sure. It's any excuse to get over here. Now, one of the things I do love is the first show is in Hobart. And I love it when the big international acts come and play in Tassie. Yeah. Some bands play in Northern Territory. I know Foo Fighters always go to Tasmania. Queens of the Stone Age recently, they came down and they played a special show in Tassie, and I think they might have done one in Northern Territory as well. So it's awesome when the big bands do come and play other cities as well. So Red Hot Chili Peppers, they're playing Hobart on February 17 at the Derwent Entertainment Centre, Sydney on February 19 at Kudos Bank Arena. They're playing the Hunter Valley on February 23 at the Hope Estate, Brisbane on February 25 at the Brisbane Entertainment Centre, Melbourne on February 28 at Rod Laver Arena, Geelong on March 2nd at Mount Duneed Estate, Adelaide on March 3 at the Superloop Adelaide 500 after race concert, Perth on March 5 at NIB Stadium, and Auckland on March 8 at Spark Arena. General tickets go on sale Monday, November 26 at noon local time through Live Nation. Cam.
Steve, I'm so excited about that tour because they're one of my all-time favourite bands ever. Mm-hmm. Ever, yes. Steve. And I've never seen them live.
Well, we're going to have to go then.
Oh, 100%. 100% we're going to be there.
Yep.
But for whatever reason, when they've come out for Big Day Out and stuff like that, I didn't go for some reason, maybe a wedding or something.
Yeah.
Maybe I was getting married or something. Anyway, we're going to do it. We're going to live this dream.
Exactly. And another tour I'm sure you're bracing for as well, because I know you're a huge fan of these guys.
I know.
Luca Brasi.
Yep, Tassie Rockers, Luca Brasi. You're going to tour again, Steve. As I said in one of our podcasts recently, I went and saw them at the Croxton Band Room, and they are awesome live.
Yeah.
So the band have just announced the Clothes I Slept In Across Australia tour.
Yep.
I love these tour names at the moment. Some of them are so awesome, aren't they?
Yeah.
It's running from January through to March in 2019. There are 21 dates, Steve.
That's a lot of touring.
These Aussie rockers work bloody hard, don't they?
Of course. You got to work hard to make any money in this industry, in this country.
And if you do go to this, make sure you do buy a T-shirt.
Yes.
It helps the band and it helps everyone.
And then next year you're not scrambling around on Australian Music T-shirt day.
You've got your Luca Brasi T-shirt ready to rock and roll.
Exactly.
It's pressed, it's ironed.
Exactly.
It's steamed.
Exactly.
It's probably...
I don't know if they do that at the venue. You might have to go press and steam it yourself.
Maybe we should add that as a service.
We'll come to gigs and we'll press and steam shirts.
Yeah, we'll wash your T-shirt after you mosh.
Yeah, actually, that's not a bad idea.
That's a new business idea.
Hey, couldn't be the worst thing out there.
But do yourself a favour.
Jeez, all right, Molly.
But head to lucabrasi.com.au for all the tour dates and buy yourself some tickets and a T-shirt at the gig.
Exactly. Now, last tour that we'll mention on the show, just had an interview with Anti, as I mentioned, Anti from the Bennies.
Yep.
The Bennies are touring in January. They're playing shows in Brisbane, Sydney, Melbourne, Perth, Freo and Adelaide. Tickets are on sale now. Head to thebennies.com.au. And speaking to Anti, he said that the band's been working on some new music as well, so we can anticipate some new stuff on the new tour. He did say that. So, head to thebennies.com.au. Pick yourself up a ticket. Pick yourself up a shirt.
Yeah, don't forget the shirt.
Exactly, and have a jolly good time.
Now, Steve.
Yes.
As mentioned before, our top 5 bass tracks went bloody gangbusters on social media. So
wow, yeah, I know, and thank you so much as well to the people who do write in.
We genuinely... We love it. Absolutely love it.
Yep, exactly. So what we're going to do is we can't read them all out because there were so many, but we're going to read out a few different people who sent in their favourite bass tracks.
It definitely gets you thinking, reading other people's and hearing other people's, because you go, oh yeah, I didn't think of that song.
Exactly. So I pretty much just made my top 5 up on what other people wrote. So
exactly.
I live my entire life based on what people say on social media.
I need to get you the Peking Duck book, don't I?
Duck book, yeah, exactly. So Cam, why don't we'll start with some of the people who have written into us. You go first.
Yeah, first of all, we got Travis. He said Quarantine by At The Drive-In.
Yep.
And the National Anthem by Radiohead.
Now, the National Anthem's cool. It's just an instrumental track. And a mate of mine, do you remember old school ringtones with, like, you used to have to key them in?
You put in the numbers and...
Exactly. My mate had the National Anthem by Radiohead as his ringtone. Ding, 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 ding. It was one of the worst things ever. Because I was like, what the hell is that? It was like the National Anthem by Radiohead. I'm like... Okay, is it? Yeah, they never sound the same.
I had Metallica Enter Sandman of that.
Yeah,
because I remember you'd go on the internet and you get the codes for it.
Yep.
I wanted All the Small Things by Blink-182.
Yeah,
and some of them were terrible.
Oh yeah, that's right. It was really hit and miss with those.
I thought
things.
All the Small Things would be the the start, pretty cool. Like,
yeah.
But it was just.
Yep.
I'm like, yeah, that's not happening. Callie also wrote in, she said, Lateralus by Tool.
Yeah, well, I mean, Tool.
Obviously. You think bass lines with Tool, don't you?
Exactly.
Really? Adam said Bomb Track by Rage Against the Machine. I mean,
yep.
That's an iconic bass line in itself,
exactly.
Isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. We had a few Bomb Tracks, actually.
Yeah. Brendan wrote in and said Zombie by the Cranberries.
Yes.
He said it's basic, but it's haunting, and I couldn't agree more.
Oh, absolutely.
Amy said Killing in the Name of Rage Against the Machine again.
Yep.
And Come Together by the Beatles.
Yes.
And George also said Come Together, but Joe Cocker's version.
I actually don't know that version.
Which I'm yet to hear either. I'm going to check that out, though.
Thanks for that, George. George.
Legend.
Yes.
Brett wrote in Highway Star by Deep Purple. Kids by Jamiroquai.
Yep.
And Aeroplane by Chili Peppers. Now, Chili Peppers, I'm guessing... there's a lot of... He's our favourite bass player, Steve.
Yeah.
We've said it a million times.
Look, it's no secret he's going to make it into my top 5, but, I'm sure yours as well.
He's a colourful person, and it comes out in his music, doesn't it, really?
Yeah, and his live shows.
Yeah, he goes off. Well, from what I've seen on my live DVDs.
Exactly. Don't worry, you'll be experiencing it soon enough.
I know. I'd go just to see him. Hopefully he's wearing clothes, but it's probably not going to happen.
The first time I saw him, he was just wearing a pair of Y fronts.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's just in a pair of jocks. I'm like, good on him. It's hot. It is hot out here.
And Aaron's written in, he said, Little Green Bag by George Baker Selection.
Yep.
Now, that's a song from Reservoir Dogs.
Yes.
And that just speaks Tarantino, that kind of feel, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, it sounds a little like this.
Yeah, it's cool.
I mean, how Tarantino is that? Yeah. I mean, it's a cool bass line, and
that's the scene with them all walking.
Yeah,
a lot of side by side. Yeah, in their
exactly.
suits.
So it's awesome. We had a few more people write in. Ben wrote in Orion by Metallica, Fly Away by Lenny Kravitz, and Got the Life by Korn.
Nice.
I mean, a bit of Korn, can't go wrong with that. Yeah. Another Adam, he listed in about 10, notably Muscle Museum by Muse, Longview and Jesus of Suburbia by Green Day, Billie Jean by Michael Jackson, and Short Skirt Long Jacket by Cake.
Good one.
Lee wrote in Bad Company by Five Finger Death Punch. Sean, Epic by Faith No More. That's a cool one as well.
Oh, of course.
Wood by Alice in Chains and Stranglehold by Ted Nugent. JP sent through about 10, including Arizona by Kings of Leon, Hysteria by Muse, Bomb Track by Rage Against the Machine, Give It Away by Chili Peppers, and Bro Him by Pennywise. Now, Bro Him by Pennywise, Cam.
Oh, the memories.
That brings back so many memories because when we used to play house parties, we would always finish with Bro Him.
Bro Him just goes off because it's something that, like, everyone can sing along to, even if you don't know the song.
Exactly.
By the end of the song, you know it, or like by halfway through the song, so you can sing along. You know.
And another thing about Bro Him was it's one of those songs that you can make longer if you want to, and we used to always just jam on it and make it a longer version. If the party was going,
kept going
and
forever,
everyone's jumping around, well, we'll just do the verse again. Well, we'll just do the chorus again.
Because you can slow it down, like especially as a drummer, like I'd slow it down.
Yep.
Or I'd like really fast, like punk it up.
Yep.
Or we'd just sit on it for a bit. It's just so much fun.
Exactly. And one last mention that we had a few people come in and say the bass lick from Call Me Elle by Paul Simon, which sounds like this.
Yes, very nice.
Dun, 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 dun. Anyway, so that's that. Thank you everyone for sending them in. And as I said, there were actually more people who sent in than that. Hopefully we'll get to you next week with our next topic. But in the meantime, our top fives. And all right, rock, paper, scissors, who goes first? 1, 2, 3. All right.
Oh, you won. You get to choose.
All right, I'll go first then.
Okay.
So
talk to me, Steve. What's your top 5 bass tracks?
Okay, so an honourable mention first. I've got Money by Pink Floyd.
Oh, money. No,
it's a slightly different one to that. All that just reminds me of is Donald Trump on The Apprentice. Wasn't that the theme song? Money by Pink Floyd.
Yep.
That's an awesome bass riff. Okay, so number 5. It was mentioned before by JP. Hysteria by Muse.
Yes.
A little like this. So that's a really cool. It kicks off the song, and I really love that one.
Love when the drums come in on that too.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
Now, we had a few people with different Rage Against the Machine tracks. I've gone with Bullet in the Head by Rage Against the Machine. It's off their self-titled. I could have gone with Bomb Track, Killing a Name, or also Take the Power Back, which is kind of really like bam, 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 bam. I really like that one. But I've gone with Bullet in the Head because there's different bass lines throughout the track that are just all really, really cool, and when you put them all together, it's really awesome. And then when it kicks in faster at the end, bullet in the head, it's really cool. Number 3, I could have gone with a number of different tracks from this artist.
Oh, yeah, one of your favourite bands.
It's Grinspoon, and I've gone with
So You Wanna Be a Champion?
Yes, Champion by Grinspoon. I absolutely love that track. I was tossing up between Champion and Freezer, but they've also got tracks like Ready One, Black Friday, Lost Control. They're just fun to play, Cam.
Oh, yeah.
And I just love, like I said, I was tossing up between Champion and Freezer. I ended up going with Champion, but because it's got really different elements to it as well. It gets faster at the end, and it's just, I enjoy playing it, and I think that's the reason why I put that in there, because it's just fun to play. So that's why it came in at number 3. Number 2, I mean, this is one of the most iconic bass tracks ever, because it's got like bass solos in it. My Generation by The Who.
Ah, yeah. I heard this on the radio the other day, and I actually was thinking about that. I'm like, it's a strange song, isn't it?
Exactly. Yeah, with The Who, John Entwistle. I mean, there are so many fantastic members of that band. They really are a super group of their own. Pete Townsend, Keith Moon. So, yeah, the bass line in My Generation is one of those iconic ones. So, that's why I put it in there at number 2. But my number 1, as mentioned before, Chili Peppers. It was a matter of which Chili Pepper song do I go with. Yeah. And I was thinking, well, Higher Ground really introduced me to popping and slapping the bass. Give It Away is always fun to play. Yep. Other Side is also really cool to play. But I've gone with this one because it was the song that made me go, you know what, I want to learn how to play bass. Around the World, Red Hot Chili Peppers. The distorted bass. There's just it's so cool, and this was like a bombshell moment going off my head when I first heard this. I was like, man, I want to do that.
And it was different too, and it was it's just so well done.
Exactly, and so you got the distorted bass at the start, which is like really drives it, and then during the verse it's dum 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 dum. It just jumps around a lot as well, which is fun to play too. And there are probably better technical Chili Pepper songs out there, like I mentioned, like Higher Ground or Give It Away. But for me, I guess that was the song that made me want to pick up the bass. So that's why I put it at my number 1.
Go. That's what they call a life-changing song, Steve.
Well, there you go. Exactly. Yeah.
Why? Because it changed your life.
Exactly.
You learn an instrument, man.
Well, that's it. And I wouldn't have done it without Around the World.
Okay, now, Stephen.
Yes.
I've got my top 5 bass tracks for you.
Lay it down for me, bro.
And anyone else who chooses to listen. Mm-hmm. I do have a couple of honourable mentions that I'm just going to rattle off quickly. All the Living End songs.
Yep. All
the songs by the Stiffies.
Yes. For those of you who don't know the Stiffies, definitely look them up.
Oh, yeah. Bloody awesome. Miss Murder by AFI.
I was thinking of that too, actually. I really like that one as well. So that's an honourable mention. Any more honourable mentions?
Just one more.
Yep.
And it was very, very hard for me not to put this in here, but I already had a Chili Peppers song in here, so I'm putting just an honourable mention to Other Side by Chili Peppers.
Yeah.
Like, I remember when I first heard that and wow.
Yeah.
But number 5, Steve.
Yep.
Plastic Cup Politics by Less Than Jake.
Hello, six-pack of confidence. Been so many nights since we first met. Glad to see you brought all your friends for another night of Plastic Cup Politics.
Oh, just you hear the bass at the start.
Yep.
It's just classic ska punk.
Yep.
I don't know, it's just always stuck with me. When I thought bass, I'm like, that, purely for the intro, you know. Number 4, Aussie punk rockers Friends Or Rom.
Yes.
Punch in the face.
Yep.
I just, I don't know why. It's a funny song.
Yeah.
But the bass line in that, which was played by their old bass player Lex.
Yep.
And wow, what a bass player he was. Like probably one of the best Aussie punk bassists you'll ever see live.
Yep.
But yeah, that song's just known for its bass line at the intro and for the whole song.
Yeah.
Number 3. Muse, Time Is Running Out. Like, I was really tossing up between Hysteria and Time Is Running Out, but I just can't beat that fat, fuzzy bass line in Time Is Running Out. It's just awesome, just purely for the bass sound.
Yeah.
The pedals that he uses, I don't know how he does it, but it's awesome.
Yep.
Number 2, Steve.
Yes.
Is your number 1.
Yeah.
Around the World by Chili Peppers. Like we said, the start, the and what the verse bits, it's nothing I'd ever heard at that time in my life. And I thought, this bass is freaking awesome. And I think that's why we like Flea so much, really, isn't it, Steve?
Well, when that came out was about, 99, so we would have been about 15. So I guess that would have been our introduction to the Chili's, because they hadn't released anything since... One
That's
Hot
true.
Minute
I mean, I remember Under the Bridge and things like that as a kid, but yeah, Californication is where it's all started for me for Chili Peppers. But
and many players.
Number 1, Steve, purely for the fun memories.
Yes.
And we mentioned it before.
Yeah.
Bro Hymn by Pennywise. Such an easy punk rock bass line. Even I can play it. But, man, how fun was that?
Oh, yeah.
When we used to play parties and play that, and everyone used to sing along. And it reminds me of when we went on Central Australia tour.
Yeah.
We're in the middle of nowhere. I can't remember where it was, but they had videos, and they had a punk video called Eargasm, and it was all punk bands playing with Extreme Sports in the background and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And Brohim was on it, and that was the first time I listened to that, and I've been in love with it ever since. So, Brohim, number one,
awesome.
Pennywise.
Yeah, Brohim by Pennywise. I mean, a lot of people said that as well. So, I mean, it's an awesome bass track, and we love playing it. And, yeah, thank you so much for people who send in their top 5. They were our top 5s.
Yeah.
We've got another one next week, as we always do.
Hang on a sec, Steve.
Yep.
Someone's ringing in.
Hello?
Oh, no, sorry, it was just my ear ringing.
Just ringing in the ear again still.
Sorry.
Geez, you really need to, I think you need to pack some more gauze in there, perhaps.
Yeah.
So our top 5 for next week, as we said, we just had Australia Music T-shirt Day. So next week, top 5 Australian albums of all time.
Now, there is a lot of bloody good ones.
Exactly.
So that's going to be tough again.
It's going to be hard to narrow that one
around
down.
it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And we want to hear what your favourite Australian album is. Even actually, it'd be cool to hear from our international listeners.
Yes.
To let us know if any Australian albums interest them that they like.
What got them in.
I mean, because actually, it was a few years ago. Alex. Garage Rock co-host, he and I went to Brazil for the World Cup.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And we interviewed different people because it was a melting pot of just different people from different countries all there for the event. And we were asking them about their favourite Australian artists. Okay. And AC/DC got mentioned a few times, Midnight Oil, In Excess, Kylie Minogue. So, people do know Australian music, so it'd be interesting if there's any albums out there that people...
Oh, and The Living End just did their tour over in Europe and their live show in Germany there. So
exactly. The Bennies, they're heading back there again, so maybe one of the Bennies albums.
Maybe the Bennies.
Yeah.
But anyway, Steve, guess what?
What, Cam?
It's time for new music.
New music. First up, we've got Brisbane indie rocker Dave Campbell, better known as Sometimes Sunny. Now, Sunny is spelt with an O, so like Sonny and Cher.
Yeah.
But only sometimes.
Yup, Sonny.
He's released his debut album, Thanks a Million, and earlier in the year he released the single Have a Heart, which received a lot of praise, and his latest single is Surgeons from the new album, so let's check that out now.
Awesome. That was Surgeons by Sometimes Sunny. Up next, Steve, we've got History by Maxon.
Yes.
She's a Melbourne singer-songwriter, and she's released her single History.
Yep.
It's a really cool video, and it's done in one continuous shot.
Yeah.
We were talking about this the other week with Kidding, that I've been watching the Jim Carrey show that's on. They did one continuous shot of a scene, and it was bloody awesome.
Actually, have you seen the movie Birdman?
Birdman.
Michael Keaton.
Yeah, what?
The entire film is done, it's done in several shots, but it's made to look like one continuous shot for the whole film over a space of a number of days.
Right. No,
but it's all done as one shot.
I'm thinking of something different. I haven't seen that, but I'm going to watch it. We're turning into a film podcast again. I love it.
But back to Maxon.
But hey, film and music go so well together.
Absolutely.
Obviously, you've got soundtracks and everything, but back to Maxon.
Yep.
She'll be performing her single launch at Paris Cat Jazz Club in Melbourne on November 22nd.
Yep.
She's very Amy Winehouse-ish.
Soul kind of sound with
that kind of sound. So it's really awesome. So let's check out History by Maxon.
It's just history. If you believe you could be made, 'cause I've given you a shot, but you shot down like I gotta be controlled. If you believe you could be made, 'cause I've given you a shot, but you shot down like I gotta be controlled, but you're not my mother.
That was History by Maxon. Now, coming up, Cam, we've got London Rockers, The Vaccines.
Yes.
They've released their new single, All My Friends Are Falling in Love. Ain't that the truth? Through Sony Music.
But me and the listeners love you, Steve.
Oh, thanks, Cam. And thank you, listeners. The band have released their fourth album, Combat Sports, earlier this year, and then they've released this new single as a standalone track. Now, the Vaccines will be in Australia as a part of the Falls Festival and are playing sideshows at the Oxford Art Factory in Sydney and the Croxton Band Room in Melbourne. For tickets, head to thevaccines.com. But let's listen to their new track, All My Friends Are Falling in Love.
That was All My Friends Are Falling in Love by The Vaccines.
Indeed.
Up next, we've got Just a Mirage by Spectral Fires. These guys, Steve, are Melbourne-based.
Yep.
They're melodic hardcore / punk. And they're set to release their EP, Turn Towards the Sun, on December 7th.
Yes.
The first single from the EP is called Just a Mirage. And you know what?
Yep.
It's an awesome track.
Yeah.
And it's a pretty catchy chorus.
Yep.
And the video clip is on basically like a deck party. And it reminds me of when we used to play on deck parties all the time and stuff like that.
Fun times.
Yeah, it's really cool. Let's check out Just a Mirage by Spectral Fires.
Awesome. That was Just a Mirage by Spectral Fires. Next, we've got Brisbane prog rockers Innovo. They've released their single The Day Is Coming, and the video for the song is really cool. It's this amazing sci-fi clip. It's definitely worth checking out. They're supporting Opus of a Machine at the Brightside in Brisbane on December 1st. So let's check out their track now. The Day Is Coming by Innovo. That was The Day Is Coming by Innovo. Up next, Steve, we've got Marco Avenue by This Time Only. Yep.
These guys are Sydney punk rockers, Steve.
Yep.
And you know how much I love my punk rock.
Horns up, Cam.
Yeah, exactly. And they've just released their single Marco Avenue, and the band are planning on releasing an EP in the near future. But I really like this song, Steve.
Yep.
I know I said that about the last song, but I'm being genuine, I swear to God.
Absolutely.
They remind me a little bit of sort of Jebediah / $1 Short.
Yep.
I reckon they're a kind of band that I'd love to go see live, so I'll have to check them out if they come skip around Melbourne with us. But here's Marco Avenue by This Time Only.
That was Marco Avenue by This Time Only. And Cam, that brings our new music to a close for episode 18.
Yeah.
There we go.
We're of age.
We are of age now. It's all official.
I'm pretty stoked about that, Steve. When we started our first episode, who knew that we'd be up to number 18?
Well, that's it. We didn't actually think that we'd, we'll give it a go and we'll see what happens. And now 18 through, and we've done about just as many interviews as well.
I know.
And we were approached to do the first interview, and then kind of like, oh yeah, we could do that. And
it's grown from there. So I'm interested to see there's just always, I have some people come up to me and say, don't you run out of stuff to say? I say, we're at the point where we're struggling to fit everything in.
Yeah.
We don't want it to go too long because there's so much happening.
Exactly.
And it's just great fun.
Yeah,
so,
and we're so grateful for people listening to us, and we absolutely love it, and people giving us their feedback. And don't forget, if you want to get in touch, what is your favourite Australian album of all time? Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Hit us up an email, contact@redskymusic.com.au.
Yes.
But Cam, here's cheers to episode 18.
Yes,
Here we
hell
go.
yeah.
Here we go. Clink. There
Let's
we
go celebrate.
Exactly. All right.
I think we deserve it.
You tap the keg, I'll pump.
Oh, done. Anyway, I've been Cameroni Nose.
And I've been Steve.
That's why I'm a bit sinusy.
Exactly.
We'll catch you next time.
Bye.
Second.